Welcome back to Income Trading 101. Today is July the 15th, 2021. We're going to take a look at SNX, the Synthetix governance token, or network token actually. And this coin has obviously it had a huge, or really token had a huge fall off back in May, like most cryptocurrencies. And it's had a nice little run up. Had some nice trades in it over the last few days. Nice to see it over $10. Right now, it's sort of touching back below $10. So just want to give a better sense of where this has been for those of you who aren't familiar with it. Synthetix is actually one of the derivative platforms for cryptocurrency. Um, I like them. You can do a lot of cool things, including it's one of the ways to actually go ahead and be able to short some cryptocurrency through their iETH and iBTC derivatives. So let's go ahead and do what we normally do. We're going to go ahead and take a look at some moving averages, a little MACD, and then we'll finish it up. Finish up the video by looking at levels and retracement and just seeing what actually is going on. And with price action, is price telling us to buy, to sell, to run away screaming, or to go all in? And I believe the phrase is hodl. So let's see. We're gonna make this a 60-day. We've got our 10, our 20, and now our 60-day. Let's take a look at this current price. So right now we definitely have a period of consolidation because, as you can see in the daily chart at least, the 10 day is higher than the 60, but the 20 is still lagging behind. So if we do get some more up moves, we're going to see both of those tick back. Of course, with more downward movement, we'll stay in a period of consolidation for more days because it'll take the 10 period of a few days to get back below the 20 as well. But right now at the daily, it's definitely a period of consolidation. At the 1 hour, we have a bearish movement going on, right? With the 10 below the 20, below the 60 period. At the 30-minute, we have a bearish indication as well. And at the 15-minute, it will likely be the same, bearish, with the 10 period below the 20, below the 60. Let's go ahead and do a little MACD analysis at the daily level, just to see. Let me pull this on back out, just to get a better sense of what's going on with the momentum in this token. So choose my MACD. Oh, I chose it twice. It's twice as much expectation. All right. So when we go back to most recently at the daily, wow, this is a lot more volatile than I would have expected. Normally, when you have a continuing trend, you don't see it hovering at the daily level around zero. You see it maybe cross the zero line and then just sort of flat line or something. Like these flat periods tend to indicate a continuation of the trend. But I guess we did have some significant up moves, then down, up, then down. Those are caught here in the momentum. Right now we've got an upward, we had a bullish crossover and it crossed the zero line. However, I'm not as comfortable right now saying that this is definitely a buy because, as you'll see in a minute, this downward moving trend line is pretty significant. Let's take a look at the 1 hour. Maybe it'll give us a little better clue. 1 hour's had a lot more oscillation, but at least this is a little more tradable. So you've got this bearish crossover on the 6th, and it did ultimately the next day cross the zero line, and it didn't change until the next day. So on the 8th, you got a bullish signal. Price did head back higher. You had a bearish cross here on July the 9th, which was last week. Did come below the zero line before crossing again and heading higher. So this one probably would have been a false signal. It might have caught you up a little bit. And then we had a nice bearish crossover on July the 12th, and it's come off since then. Even though we had a bullish crossover here, it does not cross the zero line. So the MACD at the 1 hour is good. At the 30 and the 15 minute gets a little trickier, but I do like this bearish crossover that we see on early on the 12th of really late on July the 11th. And you can see the trend has headed lower since then and hasn't crossed the zero line, so it's just continuing to be bearish. And on the 15-minute level, there's a lot here. Nice bearish crossover on the 11th, and since then it's just sort of oscillated. We did get a bullish crossover here, which crossed the zero line but came on back. So that's part of the reason why I feel like you, at the shorter time frames, are more prone to have false signals and get whipped around with the MACD. One thing I do like always is a little Fibonacci retracement. So let's start off our level analysis with that. I'm going to skip this up movement back in because we came up and then pulled off back in 2020. I am going to start though from early November to that high that we saw back in February and pull those levels all the way over to where we are now. So as you can see, we are below. We've actually gone below the 78.6%. We've pulled back to 61.8%. I would say if we cross lower, expect a full retracement down to 250, which is that's a big deal. Wow. Maybe that won't happen. But as far as retracements go, this is a pretty significant retracement. And normally when you get this deep into a retracement, at some point it does end up retesting the low of the movement. Also, before we head on, I'm going to expand this just a little bit so we can take a closer look. I mean, lots of good, movement here. For me to include that, I guess, is possible. Don't have to do it, but it didn't take that much stretching, that much work. You actually pick up the low here. It stayed within the low here. It doesn't get this one, so you could argue that the real line is more like this here. But either way, you can see that there is definitely a downward trend line happening with this. I do like the fact that we've had a nice little upward movement over the last. I'm gonna have to adjust that. Over the last few weeks, but we'll see what it ends up giving us, And this is, you can see me, partly, if I were to move that, this would actually be a little more accurate, simply because I would get not only that low, but I get the high. If I get this low, I do end up picking up this low, so we are just slightly breaking out of that channel right now, but we'll see. I'm going to get rid of that and actually do some other horizontal lines, just so we have an idea of lows that we're breaking. Obviously, I can see that area has been of interest. The last low here, look at that. I mean, that last low actually also played resistance, if you will, on this last retest back in June, and it appears to have played resistance here. It was support. This played support back in April. Appears to have been resistance in June and resistance now in July. So that is significant. I'm going to get rid of this as well. I want to just widen this out to see what else may be there. Certainly this previous low Um, that's amazing, right? You see the support there was resistance back in November, also resistance in September. I mean, and support there in August. So we're in some really significant ranges right now. The problem is there's so much space between these, right? I mean, look at this. This was $23.15. We got $13.03, basically around the $13 level, all the way to $5. I mean, $10 between that, $7.50 between these. That's a lot of space to be able to make and lose, make and lose money. This would also be a little mid-range, possible area of support. So maybe if we were to cross and retest higher, honestly, the way I would trade this right now is I'd wait and see what's going to happen the next day or so. If we do head lower, and look at this, I mean, even current price is sitting right near that little midterm support area from June the 14th. And that also, let me make that a full line, because we also saw that line play a role here. It was support last week on the 7th and 8th of July. Now we're back to that support. So maybe if support holds, we'll bounce on up and retest this $13 level. That'd be a nice $3.40 level higher than where we currently are. However, if we don't, it might be a bit of lookout below, because we don't have a lot of strong support levels between here and there. Maybe this one at the $8.59 area could end up playing as support, but it's hard to tell at this point. If we do get there and go lower, I would expect this $5 range to be tested. If we break that support, I'd expect the full retracement of that last big move. So lots of levels happening in Synthetix right now. I know a lot of people trade this. A lot of people have earned this from the activity on the network as well. So the question is always, do you hold on? Do you sell? And right now, I'm just going to say, if we don't bounce off of this current support level, yeah, I'd probably exit, because there's a lot more room to go below, even just to retest this last low. Retesting the last low that we hit on June 26th. I mean, that'll take you $4 lower than where we are now. So that's a 50% drop. So that's pretty big. Hey, thank you guys. I'm gonna wrap this video up. Otherwise, I'll start getting into minutia. You start imagining support and resistance all over the place. But thank you for watching these videos. I hope they help you out. Thank you for the comments as well. And if you would, go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. If you have done so, please share it with a friend, and come back tomorrow. I plan to make another video. So thank you so much. You guys have a great trading day. Happy trading.